Hello, I'm Ludwig, and for those who don't know me, I'm a financial salesman. I will be talking to you about some few topics, and today we're going to discover one of them. And I hope those videos will be impacting your life, the way you think, the way you see things, and helping you as well to achieve what you want in your life as well. And the first one we're going to talk about is change. And why change? It's because I believe that the achievement of anything you want will start with some meaningful changes. Because if you want to achieve something, that means you haven't got it, and that's probably because of the results that you're having right now and or the actions that you were doing in the past. So we're going to talk about change in three parts. The first one is going to be the truth, the reality, and the how. Because it's beautiful to talk about change, but it makes more sense when you actually show how to go about it, how to change in reality. So I'm not going to talk about the truth, and the truth is that the change philosophy works. I was still reading a book, and the last book that I read was about Secret of Success from the Bible. John Hagee recommended to everybody. It's a marvelous book. Even if you're not Christian, I think it's a fabulous book to read. And the first sentence when you open that book states the following: if you're not ready to change, you might as well stop reading this book right now. And that's John Hagee who says that, and I think that's very powerful. He's talking about success, and the first line talks about change. So there's something in change that leads people to success. So if you're not ready to change what you're doing, stop reading my book, because that's why I'm gonna say to you that's John Hagee, and I think that's marvelous. And so the philosophy of change works, being applied out there by multinational companies. I'm gonna talk about Pepsi without forgetting Coca-Cola, otherwise it's gonna get angry. If you go into a shop and you're trying to buy a bottle of Pepsi, or let's say a can of Pepsi, and that's the little can here, there's a design on it. Usually it's a ball, like tennis, nice, right? But if you come 6 months later, you will see a different design. So they've changed the design, Coca-Cola as well, and all these multinational companies that make significant income in profit. And so there's something about change that they've noticed that does work, okay? And I remember a while ago when I was still living in the UK, I went into another big store. That's one of the massive ones from the Walmart group, as Asda. I went into Asda and I was looking for a loaf of bread, and that was usually in one corner. I went into that corner, I was trying to pick up the bread. I couldn't find it, and when I asked the lady, where's the bread that's supposed to, always supposed to be at the place where you used to pick it from, but then she said to me that it was in another place. So they changed the space of the bread. So why would the management of a shop change stuff around just to make customers walk around the shop? There's definitely a reason behind that, and that does actually a significant change into their income. So there's something about change that works, and that's why all successful companies and successful businesses do apply it. And the reality is that people don't like change. Really, people would rather be comfortable. And talking about comfortable, I remember when I was reading another book from Kiyosaki, he was saying comfortable is sick. He thinks comfortable is not. And the word comfortable should even be banned. Because if you want to achieve change, you might as well stop being comfortable, because the comfort of today is not going to achieve the success that you want in the future. It's not going to help you achieve the success. The word comfortable is not good. But the reality is that the comfortable people are lazy. It's like people are naturally lazy. I was lazy, hated now, used to sleep till 11, thinking it's good life. But I was always looking at the same numbers, not increasing in value, and not even knowing what I know right now. So there's definitely something that we need to change. And this reality, which is us right now, And if we want to achieve in the future something, then we need to implement some change. So change is good, it's not new, but it's something to reaffirm. And I think that we should really think about the change every day. What am I changing? And I was still reading another book of Nicholas Buffman, and he's considered to be the nowadays Carnegie. And it's saying apply the KFC rule. Know what you want, find what you're getting, look at your bank account, look at your house, look at your car, look at what you're getting, and change what you're doing until you get what you want here. And I think that was a very powerful statement from Nicholas Buffman. And that's another book to read. I convinced in 90 seconds. If you want to read it, then that's fine. And I'm going to quickly go into the how. How do you change? Because it's very beautiful to talk about change, but then if you don't know how to change, then you might be messed up. So you will be changing, applying simply the 3 Ds. I've read about 10 Ds, but I think 3 Ds is enough to change if you want to change. If you want to achieve some meaningful changes in your life and reach your goals, you might apply the 3 Ds. And the 3 Ds start with disgust. And if we put a 3, I think black is better. If you put a 3 here, the roots of your change have to be disgust. So we have to be disgusted. So if I'm here, or if you're here, that's a happy man, and he wants to change, his life sucks, so he wants to change. You have to be disgusted by whatever happened in the past. If in the past you were a guy, you were fearful, didn't like to talk to people, then you might consider changing that. If you were lazy, like me, you used to be very lazy, if you were ignorant, and it's good to accept sometimes, just be humble and say, I went to school, like me, got a master's degree, but I was ignorant, right? Just decided to know. So put the list of the things that you love doing and that made you poor, that made you lazy, that made you fat. If you were eating too much, like me, I used to eat too much, by the way. So eating badly, right? So this is the list of, that's just a little list. People will have a longer list. So some people will have a longer list, some people will have a shorter, but everybody does have a list. So decide to change that, okay, by disgust. And I want to underline the words disgust because it has to be strong. The stronger the disgust is going to be, the easier you will reach your goals. A strong disgust. So let's say, I've got nothing against people with big bellies, but let's say if you have a big belly, look at your belly and say, I hate this belly, and I hated, having a big belly before. If you do hate it strongly enough, then that will push you to make a decision. And that's the second D, the decision. So, decision. So let's write the big decision here. It's very important. And you have to put it on the paper. Take a piece of paper, very important, and you have to write it down on a paper. Today, write the date and say, I decide. I decide to change, not to do all this stuff, because this is the past, and that was me in the past. You have to create a new you. And if you read some authors, they will say that changing in order to achieve something meaningful in your life has to start, I'll say, by becoming a new person. And becoming a new person starts from within. You don't change the outside, don't change the trees out there, don't change, your friends. Your negative friends are still going to be negative, but you have to change yourself, change what you believe, and change these few things, okay? So you might start to be a bit more outgoing, and start getting involved with what's happening out there. Seek opportunities. If you are sleeping in your bed, start waking up a little bit. Today is very easy. Go on the internet try to learn. And I think learning is capital to change. If you want to change, start learning, and stop thinking that, because I went to uni, I went to school as well, didn't know a lot, but right now I'm grateful that I'm trying to change. And the more I explain this thing to you guys, the clearer it becomes to me. So we need to learn, and if you want to learn, go, and there's two ways of learning. You can learn from experience, okay? Experience of other people, the people who've messed up a lot, experience, right? And you can learn from the books as well. Try to read all the books you can possibly read about what you want to achieve. Try to go and see some people who've had bad and good experience about what you want, okay? I started in the financial world recently, couldn't do any sales. Then went to see a guy who was just good at it, and told him, my sales suck. And he's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you're probably not doing the right thing. And I was like, yes. And, started teaching me, and, I was willing to learn. And you go and learn with a piece of paper, right? Write everything down that guy is saying. Might be just saying it, not telling you to write, but me, I tell you to write because it's very important. Because if you don't write, you might forget. And never trust your mind, because you will forget, okay? So write it down and read it, apply it. So what's great that I discovered about change and, achieving your goals is that if you apply what successful people tell you, is going to work for you as well. So success is just like, an X, and whatever you put, whoever is the one that is going to apply what X applies, it will achieve the same success. It's as simple as that. And you might apply it with some, you've got to actually apply it with some discipline. And discipline is what's going to be the master key. But don't forget that the discourse has to be strong, and the discipline, going through a meaningful decision, is going to be what is going to actually help you to achieve whatever is the goal that you set for yourself, okay? It could be losing weight, it could be being a bit more friendly with people, could be having a good relationship with your parents. Don't know what you didn't do with your parents before, It could be actually increasing your sales at your job if you're a salesman. Could be achieving some income if you want to be an entrepreneur. This works for everybody. And discipline is very, it's very easy as well. Just say to yourself, from today, if it's losing weight, and you are basically eating too much, or maybe eating too much outside, I'm not going to eat at McDonald's no more. And if the disgust is very strong, you're going to see McDonald's now as something that is really bad, something that's poisonous. Take off those habits here as a poison that was making you lazy and, that was making you ignorant. Try to learn. And if you think of your past as something that was really, really poisonous to yourself and to your spirit and to your being, that was helping you to achieve zero, start changing, making, try to decide something. And the discipline of maybe start eating some fruits, 5 a day. I usually don't do it, but I think if you do it, you will definitely achieve something great. And this is it. Basically, changing with the 3 Ds is what is going to help us to achieve success, to achieve our goals, And in achieving goals, what I will advise to people is to set up some little goals first. The goals that are achievable will help you to achieve the bigger goals after. Because when you set a goal like maybe having 1 million, I don't know, for entrepreneurs, what is your goal? But, the little goals that are achievable is going to encourage you to achieve the bigger goals. But change is the key. So thank you for watching the video. And we will be posting some more about other topics. and I expect you guys to make some comments underneath. And thank you. Goodbye.